Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sensibly Cynical podcast. My name is Sean, and today's guest is InkedPanda. She is a model out of the DMV area. She's been on the podcast twice before, but today we're going to talk about the modeling lifestyle. You know, these models go through a lot before they even get on the set. They put a lot of work and prep, what they do before they even get there as far as personally, professionally. We're going to get into all of it. InkedPanda is an experienced model and she has amazing insight on the industry. So I was excited to bring her back and let's just get to it. Enjoy, everybody.
How you been since February 21st of last year? That was the last official appearance.
I've been hanging in there, you know, life. You're older, a year older.
Yeah, I'm 35. I appreciated the shout out yesterday. You didn't get me to cry, but there were some tears hanging in. That was so thoughtful of you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. I love you. Heart.
I love you too. And you know, when we finally meet, it will happen. Tab will be on me, you know?
Yeah. Did you have a good birthday at least?
I did. I had, you ever heard of Tres Leches?
Mm-mm.
It's like milk and like whipped cream and like everything not healthy for you. And like buttercream icing on it.
Nice.
So you can tell by the ingredients it's healthy. The people that created that shit. You know.
It's your birthday. You should enjoy it.
A shot of something, and I capped it off with Ice House. You know, shout out to Ice House, the most classy beer ever made.
Right. Right.
That's the beer that I used to drink in the woods. You know, so I was like, screw it, let's bring it back.
Right.
So is it getting better, the industry, as far as, you know, the conditions for shoots, or is it the same as it was in the beginning of the pandemic?
So I feel like a lot of people are taking this time to reflect with ideas, what they want to do. Really take the time to decide what they want to do in the industry, whether it's stick with just modeling or like growth wise. What is exactly they want to do? Do they want to expand with opening their own studio? Do they want to expand? Do they want to expand and have their own team? Do they want to expand? A lot of people are expanding into fitness, and do they want to go into the fitness field and do like have their own brand as far as opening their own gym, being their own trainer, having their own program? Do they want to expand and opening their own studio and having their own team as far as creative team and offering photographer, studio, makeup person, videographer? I think that's what a lot of people are doing, is taking the time to expand in the creative field.
Here's the thing. Registration as far as trademark, where are you going to rent the location? I mean, that stuff doesn't change. You may have more time to do it, but you still need down payments. I mean, you know. Yeah, and it takes a lot,
and a lot of that takes a lot of time. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of stuff you have to do. There's a lot of team building. There's a lot of
You mean like team, like what team building are you talking about? Like
more so in the sense of who is going to be your team, and then once you decide who your team is going to be, you and your team have to meet, whether it's going to be, you know, your team itself and getting together at the house or getting together on a phone call, making sure that you're staying fresh with ideas. Networking, promoting, letting people know that, okay, this is what we're doing. Now you know who we are. This is our first event. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work to make sure people know what you're doing, and that you don't stop doing it. It's consistency is what it is.
Well, for those that just came in, if you have not listened to the Sensibly Cynical podcast, what are you doing? You need to subscribe. You know what I mean? You know what? She's not as good as you, InkedPanda, but listen to this. I just confirmed, well, knock on fake wood or whatever this is, old ass wood, But I have a Maxim cover girl coming on the podcast.
I heard that right before we like disconnected the first time.
Bunny Stewart.
That's
like
awesome.
she's not you. So don't feel like she's taking your place.
Oh no. There's no such thing. I've learned this.
I love you, InkedPanda. No matter how good she is, she won't take your place.
There's no such thing as like competition. It's just like there's nobody that is me. It's just somebody else that's out there doing something that they love. So that's absolutely amazing. So
I don't know. We're gonna talk about probably how she's like getting all these covers, of course. Like, because here's the thing, she probably works her ass off, and so I'm excited to talk to her. But she was like, "Oh, I'm so honored." I'm like, "Yeah, let's just shoot the shit." You know how I am. Like, I'm pretty relaxed. So I'm not really worried about it. If things get stagnant, I'll just make some shit up,
Absolutely.
No.
That's exciting.
So yeah. And have you seen Tiger King?
No. I haven't taken the dive to see that yet.
But you know what it is, right?
Yeah. No, I've heard all about it. But I haven't watched it.
Well, for my next podcast, I'm gonna watch Tiger King 2 in 2x speed.
Oh, nice.
So I'm probably gonna have a shot before I do it and try to stay sane. So let's get back to what we were talking about as far as team. So is social media like half the battle still? Like getting opportunities, getting names? I mean, that obviously hasn't changed, but I would think that's ramped up as long as this pandemic is going on. I feel like it's getting more and more important to have I guess clout's not the right word, but branding.
Yeah, I feel like social media is still important, but it's just a stepping stone. I feel like multiple platforms of social media is important. You can't just, I just have, the Facebook and Instagram. I mean, I have the others, but I suck at being on all of them. Kudos.
No, you don't suck at anything.
Kudos to the ones that kudos to the ones that stay on top of all of them. But again, it's just a stepping stone. It's important to stay on top of all of them if you can. And then, of course, I feel like doing events when you can do them. Obviously, staying safe is important. And right now, obviously, there are a lot of people getting sick again.
Staying safe is important in a lot of things in life. If you know what I mean. Especially with a lot of people having downtime and But anyways, sorry. Try to get my head out of the gutter. No, but I get what you're saying. I'm just messing.
No, absolutely. Jasmine Perez, who's a model in Pennsylvania, is kudos to her. She is doing a huge networking event on January 29th for creatives in general, models, photographers, people in general, just if they want to come out and just network. And it's going to be a huge event. She has a place. There's going to be a DJ. There's going to be a lot there. And just for people to come out and just mingle and just network, meet people you haven't met before, put your name out there. So that, and it's not to take pictures or anything in general. It's just to mingle. There's going to be a little mini fashion show, but it's
really, that's cool.
I think things like that are important. There are models that want to meet other models that have never met, photographers that want to meet models they've never met, stuff like that. So that's perfect opportunity. Things like that are important. There are photographers that host events where models can sign up and go to it and, do it. They pay, you do pay a fee for it, but usually it is
There's a fee in everything in life. It's either monetarily or a different kind of fee. There's a lot of fees.
And that's always a debate. We've talked about this almost every time we talk. Whether models pay photographers pay models want to get paid, photographers want to get paid. So that's always a debate. And it depends on what it is and if the model's new, if the model has been doing it for a while, if the photographer's new. So those are the things that help, all of us in the game as far as getting known.
I feel like people are working together more during this pandemic as far as because at the core, there's that primal survival rate. like survival.
Yeah.
Like humans are programmed to survive.
Yeah.
Like that's what humans do. And I feel like people are, as far as you know, because the media likes negativity. In my opinion, I mean, people may have different. Everyone has their own opinion, but for me, if there's not negativity, all these media outlets, it doesn't matter if it's the people that say they're neutral. If there's not negativity, the media, what are they gonna do? As sad as there's positive stories, but do they were like, oh, well, they don't sell as much. Sell much to who? You know what I mean? So I feel like people are coming together through this. What do you think? Like, what are you seeing up there as far as people through the pandemic? I know a lot of people are, at these, testing sites helping out.
I feel it's a lot more, I think it's both. So I feel like a lot of people are coming together more and willing to help. Nobody wants to see anybody sick or down and out or hurt or, like you said, feeling negative energy in general. Now
Yeah.
on the creative, that's in general, on the general side.
Sure.
On the creative side, I feel like it is just more, there's always going to be, I feel like,
People that are like, pardon the pun for the podcast, but cynics.
Yeah,
There's always going to be cynics.
I feel like there's less jealousy and less negativity that there used to be. I feel like there's less drama that there used to be. I think all of us are just a little tired of it just because of what we're dealing with in the world in general, because we're all dealing with so much that we're just like, why add to it?
I think people are having COVID fatigue. I think that's part of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing some of my best work and really getting some of the best projects. And I just kind of got hit.
Like you're talking about ever or recent times? You're talking about like you're doing the best business like ever or just recent times?
And just recently, I was doing some of my best work ever because of my growth.
That's awesome.
Just my growth in general. The people that I have been working with, they've noticed it.
Yeah.
I was pushing my limits. I could feel my creative juices, and I was doing a lot more projects and opening myself up. And then, personal life. I mean, my mom's, she's old, bless her heart. She has survived this world 80 years. That is a fucking blessing.
That's huge.
It's a fucking blessing. So
right. That's a big deal. Obviously, that's awesome.
Yeah. So and she's still here. I'm talking like she's gone already, but she's still here. So
no, yeah. Hey, like I said earlier, everyone has the fighter. She'll fight through.
Yes. So, I'm taking care of her full time. So that's kind of put my modeling on the back burner. Modeling's not the first and foremost.
Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your evening. I know I'm hearing things, like you're saying about being busy and stuff. So I appreciate you taking time out of your evening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's just, life is tough sometimes. So I'm just going through some personal stuff that I can't. Modeling is not the first and foremost, which is okay. Actually, it is okay. It allows me to.
Is that pink, purple, or a combo, or what's going on there?
Okay, so this is a hilarious story. Okay, so my sister came to visit my mother, and my sister and I don't get along that well. So this was a stressful day, and to steer away from my sister, I decided I'm going to dye my hair. So I'm going to dye my hair so I don't, And this was the result. And
wait. So what happened there? You took a one to the sides? Is that what happened? You took a one?
I just took multiple colors. Everybody loves it. And I go, I don't know. I'm going to go my blonde.
People that color their hairs are free spirits,
I used to color my hair all the time. I've been blonde for so long, and I'm going back to blonde. I'm gonna rock this probably for another week or so. I have a couple of photo shoots coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm not gonna be this for those. So
well, I also wanted to talk to you and tell you that I really appreciate your friendship because I know we had, I don't want to dive into it, but we know what happened. And I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate you, and I still want to have you on as much as I possible. But you know what I mean? Maybe we can get unfiltered back again when
Yeah.
time gets good for both of us. And I wanted to thank you for just being a good friend. I'm not trying to get all sentimental, and because you didn't get mad or nothing about time. You know what I mean? Like, I think we have a friendship that can outlast, like, a podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
So I appreciate you too. I really wanted to do the podcast. And like I said, I have a lot going on with my mom now, but during that time too, I have both of my daughters that have some mental health
yeah,
stuff, and it was just not the right time. So I'm hoping that we can, like you said, rekindle. I think you're fucking amazing. I love you to death,
yeah,
and I'm glad we met. And well, not
yeah,
officially met, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
And
yeah, 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 yeah.
I still support you. I support everybody that I believe in, and that's you and I have talked since then, and I meant what I said. I am a supporter. I
Yeah.
support you. I believe in you, and the people that I believe in, I
Yeah.
continue to support.
Well,
So I love you
mm,
regardless, and I'm gonna keep supporting you no matter what. And
yeah.
it was unfortunate. It just wasn't the right time, and
Right,
I
right,
think
right.
and I think I wanted it, and I wanted it so bad. I just couldn't make it happen with everything that was going on. And that's the
Right,
same
right,
thing.
right, right.
And that's the same thing with what's going on with me now. It's like
Uh,
I don't want to put modeling on pause because I love it so much, but I have to realize that sometimes life happens, and I have to
right.
take care of life, even though I love what I love, but I have to put it on pause and take care of my loved ones, my mom, my kids, and mental health. All those things are important, and sometimes we have to put things on hold that we love. And
Hmm.
I know it sucks, but we have to do it.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that and show my appreciation, and hopefully you'll be a regular on the podcast. This is the third time. You're getting near, like, I think the record is 4, but I have a lot of people hanging out in the Three Timers Club. So you're joining
Woo!
that. You're joining that.
Yay!
We have someone in the Four Timers Club, but we have like 5 people on their heels.
Nice.
The hard part about being in the podcast is getting a base. Like, and I know for me it's hard because I have a different subject each episode.
Mhm.
So that's really hard because you're relying on your interview skills, which I think I'm a decent interviewer. But what's really hard is getting consistency because it's like, oh, a stripper this week, Christy Monroe. No, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Christy Monroe is like epic. As are
Right,
you.
right.
You guys do the best downloads. But then they'll be like, well, I have to have content, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying I have duds, but I'm not sure because they're all guests. So I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like say, oh, yeah, I don't want to say, oh, yeah, this guest was just a filler because that's not the case.
Right,
But
right. No.
sometimes clicks happen with people, and I don't understand how. I mean, I do. Model and stripper, they stick out. Oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? I get it.
Right, right.
But I feel like I have a lot of independent rappers because I want to give them platforms. I don't care about downloads when it comes to them because I'm an independent podcast. So I feel for independent rappers and not just rappers, country artists,
Right,
anybody.
right.
I feel for them because, they were telling me that Spotify is really huge now because you don't have to worry about passing out CDs like in the 90s. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you can just upload, but the same thing is, Spotify takes a lot of money. Now let's try to convert that to not saying Spotify to modeling, but there's a what's the word? I guess comparison
Mm-hmm.
to the fact that there's money. You pay money up front to these agencies or I don't want you to disclose finances on transactions, but talk about the dialogue to actually setting up time and place than actually doing it because I know I've heard stories about some shady people that run these things. And I know luckily you told me that you obviously you have great, friends in the business, but talk about some of the shady stuff that goes on. You don't have to give me, any personal, but do you know any shady stuff?
There's a lot of shady stuff that goes on in the industry, period. And there are agencies that you can go under as a model. It's not as easy as it seems, but then again, it can be easy as well. And I know that sounds complicated. So the real top model agencies, you need to be prepared to be, in a sense, a runway model and walk runway. I learned this in a lesson thing that I went to. Like boudoir. Boudoir, the true definition of boudoir has the true definition.
One.
Okay, but everybody has multiple definitions, what they think boudoir is. Model has one true definition, but everybody has multiple definitions of it. As far as modeling, you should be getting paid regularly for modeling.
Yeah. As the kids say, like, do. Or like that.
There are different types of model. There's swimsuit model, blah, 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 blah. So for me, I like to be referenced and called a model. Now, have I been in magazines? Yes. Have I been in any have I been in Vogue or big name magazine? No.
That's their loss, not you. That's their loss.
No, I would love to be. I would love to be in a big name magazine. I would love to do a fashion show, but I fucking, with a passion, hate heels. I am not.
That was funny. Not that funny, but one of the last episodes I did, the Greener Grass podcast, we actually talked about that in the podcast. Guess what the longest, I'll ask you, you should probably know the answer. Guess what the longest heel is that they make?
I would have no idea.
8-inch heels. Imagine wearing 8-inch.
I was about to guess 8 or 9.
Well, I thought 6, but then I Google wins all,
I would hate myself. I'd probably look like I would look horrible. I mean, I can walk in heels.
No.
I can walk in heels, but not with like attitude and justice and anything. Yeah, no, I would need like a week of training to walk in them. And let me tell you what, I'm like, you can ask anybody that's done photo shoots with me. When I do the heels for photo shoots, the very first thing I do when I'm done is the first thing I do is take off the fucking heels. Or like when we're changing outfits, I'm like, are we doing shoes for this? Are we doing barefoot?
Yeah.
Are we barefoot for this?
What's the attire minimum?
Okay, we're doing lingerie. Can we do barefoot, please? Please? And sometimes I'll argue with photographers. I go, we don't wear heels to bed. Like when we're doing lingerie, we're not wearing heels. We're technically barefoot. So why are we wearing heels? I mean, it's the truth.
So what does InkedPanda do on a day off? Like, if you have the rare day off, or if you do not have one?
I was going to say, lately, I don't know what a day off is. I mean, like I said, lately I haven't really been doing a whole lot. But, I mean, I'm a true creative at heart, so I do a lot of any type of creative stuff. So I like to paint. I like to draw.
We talked about that. We talked about that last time. I think we did. No. Be like Picasso, I bet you like Picasso, right?
I'm boring. I'm boring. I like
I wish I was around when Picasso was, because the shit Picasso did was like crazy. That's one of the people I wish I could meet. He's on my list of people like all time that I'd want to meet. Picasso is one of them.
One of the people, like old people that I would love to meet that's like creepy and probably really fun is Edgar Allan Poe. Like, why?
Oh, I was going to say that too. We read each other's minds. I was going to say that. Quote the Raven, nevermore. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm all about Edgar. Yeah. And plus, you're in his area too. I said you're in his Edgar. You're in his area too, right? Baltimore, Richmond.
Yeah. But like, I was just thinking today. Like, I have a painting that like I've been working on like for 3 days, and I was like, I kind of want to work on it or finish it, quote unquote, but I don't know when I'll get around to it. But yeah, that and plus. I like to bowl, so I'm a bowler. I think we've talked about that too. Yeah.
Let's get the spare, you know? Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah,
So
that.
if people listening to listening to InkedPanda for the first time, there are two other episodes that you should check out, you know?
Yeah, and I'm a video gamer at heart. I like video games, so.
Mm.
Yeah.
What do you see as your biggest like struggle professionally?
So it's two things. Sometimes I take on too much, like willingly, and
Yeah.
sometimes I take on too much, not knowing that I'm taking on too much. So sometimes,
Oh, so it's kind of like blind.
yeah. So sometimes I know I'm taking on too much and
Hmm.
try to do it anyways, but sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it. And then the other thing is, I was talking about it. I don't want to give up stuff. Well, like when the world's
Right.
coming, so much is on my plate. I don't want to give up anything, even though there's so much on my plate. I think I can still do it. So I'm like, I can still do it. I can still do it. And I'll talk to people, about it, and I'll be like, it'll be
Hmm.
fine. And I'll come up with a plan, and then I'll come up with another plan, and then I'll be like, okay, well, I can't do this, and then I'll go back, and then I'll go back and be like, you know what, I can do it, and then I'll be like, no, I can't do it.
Hmm.
I think my problem is I want to fix everything or save everybody, even though I know I can't.
I don't think we've talked about this subject. I talk about it all the time on the podcast. So, are you into music? Have we ever talked about that since you have been on the podcast? I don't think so.
I mean, I listen to music a lot, so
Who's your go-to?
I don't necessarily have a go-to. I just listen to a little bit of my like playlist is the same like 200
So
songs that
give me one of your favorites like ever.
Michael
Like someone
Jackson.
that, Michael Jackson, yeah, Thriller, yeah. You can't go wrong with Michael Jackson.
I mean, I
Uh,
have like my playlist is so broad. Like sometimes I'll listen like my playlist has like violin music, but not like your like classical. It'll be violin music with like some beats mixed into it.
you know,
Uh,
you know what I think is unfair to some people
mhm.
is when people color their hair and whatever, and people automatically think like emo or
I
like
know.
gothic. I think that's so like unfair.
I mean, I listen to like so I have Michael Jackson, Michael Bublé. I mean, I do have Korn in my playlist and Linkin Park.
Corn.
I have Linkin.
Lincoln Park. I just listened to Lincoln. Oh, what was the song? In the End. I love that song.
I have some of the newer songs in there. I'll be like, "Ooh, I like that song," and I'll add it. I can't think. When the song comes on,
Oh, you're one of those people that it's you go by song like
I have Eminem in there. I have a lot of Eminem in there.
cleaning out my closet.
A lot of Eminem. Yeah.
I was into like the rap scene too
Yeah.
as a kid. But do you have a fun story you can share? Like I know I ask you that every time you're on the podcast, but do you have something recently that you thought was funny?
So I don't know if he's still on and watching. My partner in crime that I have been doing a lot of photo shoots with, Anthony make
Hmm.
moves.
Hmm.
We have done a lot of awesome photo shoots together, a ton of
Hmm.
awesome photo shoots together.
Right.
I think it was our second photo shoot together. The very first photo shoot that we did together, he was a fill-in because the person I was supposed to do the photo shoot with canceled. He was my Jason. It was Freddy versus Jason, so he was my Jason.
Ah.
He was my Jason fill-in, and that shoot,
Yeah.
that shoot,
That's
that
cool.
shoot, that shoot went awesome. So we worked together again at Jerry Brown's studio with,
Well, of course, you always gotta shout out Jerry Brown, got you.
yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
But we were working with his partner Scott, and
Mm.
we did a little fashion, and then we did boudoir, of course. And I think no, it wasn't his first time doing boudoir, but maybe his first time doing more skin to skin boudoir. And he was in just his he was just in boxers, and
What?
I was in a crop top and thongs, and
Hmm.
and it got hot in there. Things got steamy, and things
Oh, okay.
things were rising.
Oh.
And and Jerry made a comment. He goes, I don't know the exact comment. It was the word. He goes, look, I see a lot in my studio. And, he goes, but I charge extra when I have to see, I forget what he said, when I have to see things start to rise, or when I see slinging and dinging, ling-a-ling. He's like, this is my studio and I don't want to have to see that. If I have to start seeing that, then I'm going to start charging for that. And to see a black man start to turn red is hilarious. It was quite funny.
Was this a recent thing that happened?
It wasn't that long ago. Yeah.
But it was after the last time you were on the podcast.
Yeah. But
don't they used to call that pitch the tent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that that's an old ass term?
Yeah, but it's funny because when I go back and look at the pictures, you can see it. I didn't notice it before, but when I go back and look at the pictures, I go, oh yeah, you can totally see. So it's funny. Anytime Anthony and I work together, I just see him and I go, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Nope." Ever since Jerry, I can't make that mistake again. It's hilarious.
So let's do some pros and cons. What are some pros of being a model, like in today's age?
Pros. It's fun, and I get to play dress up, and I get to use my creative mind with all this creative stuff that I get to do, and I get to meet a lot of fun new people. Like, I feel like being a model, I get to meet a lot of people that I wouldn't normally get to create being, And the cons, I feel the cons are it's hectic. It's stressful. There's a lot of jealousy that goes on. And sometimes I feel like the jealousy we create, like we, as in me individually, I create myself. So.
Well, someone's saying, hey, AB photography.
What's up, Aaron? What's up, Aaron?
So is it easier to get noticed than it was when you first started?
Absolutely. I think that's the hard part. When you're first starting as a model, or when you want to be a model, I feel like, it's true. You absolutely, unless you know someone that can help you, you are absolutely chasing people. Please take my pictures, at least with the well-known photographers. There are photographers out there.
Oh, yeah. Like anybody, it's just like acting and stuff. Like anybody with anybody can just do it, but not everyone can do it well. There's a difference.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. There's creepers out there with a camera that'll take your picture. But real photographers won't necessarily give you time of day until you start really, 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 really working, and that's tough. And it can be discouraging too. That was the hard part for me in the beginning. And when I go back and look at some of my first photo shoots, they're bad.
Have you had some people that are like bad, like communicators? Like there'll be people that you work with, and then they'll ghost, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I wasn't ghosting. I just was busy."
Yes. And see, the thing is, I hate that, but the thing is, I'm also, I'm really shitty too at it. And not intentionally. And I do get busy. And so when I say I hate it, I do hate it. But the thing is, there's a difference. There's a difference between not communicating in general, because I don't communicate in general on a regular, but if you're communicating with someone about a photo shoot or about something that you guys are communicating back and forth, and then all of a sudden the communication just stops. Yeah, that shit pisses me off, because then you just being an asshole. It's different if you're not communicating, because you're just not, like, I'm not one to communicate just to shoot the shit or talk or whatever. But if you're talking about photo shoot, or if you're talking business, and then you just don't finish the conversation, that's shit.
Most of the time, though, it's probably laid out and say, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I feel like it's 50% of the time it's like that. Sometimes I feel like there's a shoot date and time set up in a place.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we shooting? And sometimes it's like, well, the photographer be like, well, what do you want to shoot? Well, you asked me to shoot, so
Yeah.
what?
You asked the
What?
question. Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes it's a lot of that, which can be annoying. Or it'll be like, well, what do you got to shoot? Or what are you feeling like to shoot? Or what, sometimes I feel like that goes back and forth. And it's not necessarily one person or the other's fault. I feel like it's, again, 50-50. Sometimes it's a photographer, sometimes it's a model, sometimes it's both. I feel like sometimes both people are just trying to feel each other out. Like, hey,
Yeah.
is there
Yeah.
something that you want to shoot? Or, hey, is there something you want to shoot? Or, so I think, or sometimes I feel like both are just communicating like, well, what is it that you want to do? It's kind of, yeah. So I feel like
So,
that can be part
mhm.
of it too.
You said it's fun, obviously. I mean, that's pretty obvious, based on people keep wanting to do it and. But what is fun about it? Like, do you have any, can you expand on that? Like, when you mean fun, like, what do you mean? What kind of fun? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you have any?
Yeah. So the fun part is once you have everything together and it's
Mhm.
set in stone, you know exactly what you're wearing, your makeup, at least for the
Yeah.
girls, the makeup is done, and you're getting your
Hair
pictures
did.
done.
Yeah, your hair
Yeah.
did, all that.
And you're in the moment, the music's going, you're feeling the music, and you're just in the zone, you're feeling it,
Yeah.
and then of course when you're getting the pictures back too, it's just something that you feel like I guess you have to be a creative to understand it. So me just explaining it doesn't do its justice. You have to be that type of person to understand it, because it's almost like stepping out of who you are. I'm no longer just Amanda, mom, taking care of my kids, taking care of my mom, taking care of the house, cleaning, cooking, going to
Yeah.
work. I'm out of that zone, and I'm just free and just feeling sexy or playing a
Yeah.
part. Sometimes it's not just about, putting on lingerie. You could be in a vintage dress and playing a 1920s role. And, it's just sometimes just being something else, being somebody else, and, not having to be who you are in that moment. And it's just a nice release. That's the fun part, having to be somebody else and being free for a moment. So that's fun. I laugh a lot. Anybody that's ever worked with me, I'm a goofball. I am not.
Mm-hmm.
I like to make people laugh. I like to have fun when I'm at shoots. I'm always a big goofball. I'm always dancing, or when music's going, ask anybody. I'm singing half the time, like a good 20 pictures of me singing at the shoot. So that's me having fun.
Well, the key thing is to keep it light, right? You don't want
Yeah,
things to get all.
because any other time, like I said, at home, like I said, life is tough right now. So at home, I'm stressed. I'm, see,
Dancing.
Anthony's telling you, I dance, I sing. I'm a goofball. Like, I'm silly.
Yeah. I have a question that I don't think I've asked before.
Mhm.
So, how did you get the name InkedPanda? Have I asked that?
Mm-mm.
So,
I
how'd you
just,
get that? How'd you
I
get
just,
that name?
I just made it. I created it. So in high school, I used to be called Manda Cakes. That's been stuck with me forever, and I still get called that. And then I used to be called Panda, if I would like Panda Bear. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I love
It
tattoos.
just.
I
Oh,
love
okay, okay.
I love tattoos, and I've started obviously getting them one by one, getting more and more, and I'm going to be getting another one eventually here soon.
All right, so here we go. We got question. It says, "What's up, Sean? How was your recent weekend, including the show, plus the week mentally, physically, spiritually?" Mine was good. My week. So my birthday was yesterday. Thank you for asking. So yeah, my birthday was awesome. I drank and had a beer, and that's what happens when you're 35. It used to be like, well, you go to the club, Uber, taxi, all that. But now in my 30s, it's give me a shot of rum chata, which is basically alcoholic creamer, old people stuff, and give me an ice house, and don't bother me, let me sleep, more. That's what my weekend was. And my parents came over, my brother, talked to my brother. I that I don't talk to very much. Like, I don't talk to him very much, but I don't think he's ever missed my birthday. He always calls me. But as far as spiritually, you know what? How do I go about this? So I am a spiritual person. I believe in God. I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I said this on a podcast in the past, but I run a lot. I feel like running clears my mind. So that's what I do spiritually. But lately it's been walking because I'm out of shape. But usually it's running when I can. But
I want to run for fun, but I just can't get my ass to do it.
so thank you for asking. And with that, unless anyone has any more questions, InkedPanda, where can people find you on the interweb? Internet, all that.
Right now, I'm a little quiet, but the best place to go right now, just go to Instagram, go to InkedPanda83. I have some stuff that will be coming soon. Anthony and I are planning to do some pretty cool stuff. I love him a lot. He's a cool guy. Check him out too at Make Moves Incorporated on Instagram. If you're not already following, make sure to check out Sensibly
Cynical. You got it.
Oh, thank you. I was gonna finish it, but he finished
Were
it.
you? Okay, say it. See, I finished it for some people, but go ahead, say it.
Sensibly Cynical.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Make sure you check it out for podcasts too. He's pretty cool. I think he's pretty cool. So you can check him out.
So I scrolled up, Amanda, and he actually said both of you. So how was your weekend, and what do you do spirituality wise?
I'm not a big spiritual person, but for spiritual, so I have just started trying to find my center and trying to figure out what I want to do spiritually. I don't know what it is yet, but I am trying to find my center and figure out what is best for me spiritually. So that's what I'm doing now. I do have a lot of pets. They help me figure out what's best for me and to help me be center. I do believe that there is something higher than us. I just don't know what it is yet.
All right. Well, thank you, G Money Stacks 555 in Queensney. Yeah, that's a cool podcast. It's let me get the name. Oh, I just saw it. This. I don't want to mess up the this like I did my AirPods. Off the Meat Rack Chains in New York. That's a podcast. Check them out. I appreciate the questions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. InkedPanda 83 in the house.
All right, thank you so much. We love you.
And always a pleasure, Amanda. Thank you so much again for the birthday shout out.
Absolutely.
I did not expect that, but it was really gracious and amazing. And it just shows how great of a person you are. And I can tell you really care for the people. Like, if you care about people, the people you care about, you care about. I'm the same way. Like, if you're going to ride with me, I'm going to ride back. That's how it works. But
okay.
All right. Hey, and guess what? It went over an hour. They changed their algorithm, Amanda.
I was wondering. I was like, I think we went over.
It says 101.54.
Nice. That's what's up.
They're letting people actually have a good conversation on Instagram now. I didn't like that. Kick people off and shit for an hour.
Yeah.
That was crap. It's like, and Twitter's doing the same. Like, Twitter added characters, and you know what I mean. Everyone's trying to let people actually talk, and that's good.
Yeah.
InkedPanda is the best, so book her or die. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm just kidding. No injuries. All right, bye everybody. Thank you for the questions we had, and stay safe, okay?
Take care.
Before we get to today's Instagram trivia results, I want to let you know, January 29th, I will be opening the Sensibly Cynical shop. There I will have coffee mugs available, all different colors, very reasonably priced, and these are quality mugs, so I'm excited to have these available for you to purchase. Thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me that you keep listening to the podcast. I know we have a lot of the same listeners that come back to each episode, and I just want to, again, Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to the one and only Sensibly Cynical podcast. You can check us out on Twitter at Cynical Sensibly, and of course, Instagram, Sensibly Cynical Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm doing a lot more on YouTube lately, so please subscribe to us on there so you don't miss a video. WordPress, of course, we are on there, and you can check out Sensibly Cynical wherever you get your podcasts. Now it is time for this week's Instagram trivia results. Early last month, I posted an album cover and asked the following question. What rock band released this album in 1994? The answer was Weezer. And we had two winners. Obscurity Podcast on Instagram. You can check out that podcast wherever you get them. And also my buddy Phenomenal01. He is the host of the Last Drop podcast. Very, very good stuff. He has on there, so check it out. And also the Obscurity Podcast is always entertaining as well. That's it for today. Please stay safe and take care.